Hi, this is Robert Kiyosaki, and you're listening to Capital Hacking. This is the most important thing you can listen to today.
Hello, this is Josh McCown from Renault Winery Resort, and we have a very important announcement from Matt Sorensen about Learn and Grow, August 24th. Take it away, Matt.
I'm Matt Sorensen from Directed IRA. I'm excited to be the keynote speaker at the Learn and Grow event for Accountable Equity on August 23rd and 24th. You've got to book your tickets and get registered. I'm excited to be there and to meet you in person.
Here's the one.
I have a dream.
With great power comes great responsibility.
I can do this all day.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
They may take our life, but they'll never take our freedom.
Cinderella story out of nowhere.
It's in the hole. That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Capital Hacking begins in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my name is Josh McCown. Welcome to Capital Hacking, and welcome to Mindset Monday. You know, the mind and the power of the human capital is something we go through and journey with each entrepreneur we talk to each week. And in episode 308, we met Kevin Taylor, the gentleman who was a banker, an entrepreneur for 30 years, built a bank, and now is an elite EOS implementer. Today begins his journey as a teacher, where he's going to pull out the kernels, the gold, the nuggets, and share them with you and I on how we can make some powerful choices today to change our trajectory of the rest of our lives. So let us know how you like it. Check out episode 308 and find out more about Kevin and dig in deep. Let's go.
Welcome to the Capital Hacking Podcast. I am your host for today, Kevin Taylor. And when we talk about capital, there's different forms of capital. I tend to talk about mental capital and the psychology behind things. The information that I get from my episodes typically come from podcasts that I'll listen to, books that I read. Occasionally, I'll grab something from a documentary that I'll watch. Today, what I'm going to talk about is information that I am getting from a book that I've read that's titled What Drives Winning Teams. If you're watching the video, this is what the book looks like. It's a book written by Brett Ledbetter. And so before I jump into the main content of this podcast, I want to explain to you a little bit who Brett Ledbetter is, because I think there needs to be some context here. So Brett serves as a performance consultant for high-performing organizations. He's worked with an NBA Finals champion. He's worked with an NFL starting quarterback and captain, as well as the Female College Athlete of the Year. Brett has co-founded the What Drives Winning Conference, producing 9 conference events in St. Louis, Boston, Chicago, and Dallas. And he facilitates discussions with top minds in the sports and leadership. So Brett's work is focused on character development, priority alignment, team dynamics, behavior management, and self-awareness. He's authored 5 books, each of which have been converted into a master's level course at the University of Florida. And the book I'm going to be talking about today, again, is What Drives Winning Teams. So the first lesson that he teaches is what's getting in the way. And so I love this, because that's like, what's getting in the way of you becoming your best person? So let me explain how he works with teams. So anytime he's working with a team, he begins by asking 2 questions. The first question is, what are the top 3 things that could get in the way of your team maximizing its ability? The only thing he asks for them to leave off is injury, because it's largely out of their control. The second question he asks them is, what is your biggest personal struggle that not many people know about? So he's asking these questions to the athletes. And so question number 2, as you can imagine, that can get personal. So before they start, he asks them to be open and honest. It's critical for the exercise to be effective. And then they take a couple of minutes answering question number 1 on the top half of their paper, and then number 2 on the bottom half. He then asks them to fold the paper in half, separating the team issues, question number 1, from the individual issues, question number 2. So in the book, he shares some specific examples of some of the personal issues that athletes have. For this podcast, I'm not going to get into that. If you get the book, it's in chapter 1. You can go through some of those personal issues that they have. But what I want to focus on is question number 1, which is, what are the top 3 things that can get in the way of your team maximizing its ability? And so he asks for their answers to the question as they're going through the exercise, and he starts writing the answers on a whiteboard. And if there's any duplicates on that, he just puts a tally mark next to it. And so what this does is it creates a prioritized curriculum of the things they think will get in the way of the team maximizing their ability. So in this example, the common answers were things like selfishness, lack of buy-in, lack of effort, lack of trust, self-doubt, negativity, outside distraction, complacency. You get the idea. So, so he writes all those on the whiteboard. Brett then asks for them to take each of these items one by one and write them on a sticky note. As they're doing that, he goes up to the whiteboard and makes two other columns. He puts them side by side. On the left side, he writes human, and on the right side, he writes sport. And so then he then asks the players to take their sticky notes over to the whiteboard and said, if your answer is human related, personal, interpersonal issues, put your sticky note on the left-hand side. If your answer is sport related, technical or tactical aspects of the sport, put your sticky note on the right-hand side. Which category do you think all their answers fell under, human or sport? If you said human, you are correct. 100% of the sticky notes went to the human side. And so when the players saw that, it created awareness that these are the issues in the bullets that could take down the team. So Brett goes on to say that all out of all the teams that he works with, nearly all boards look like this. It doesn't matter if it's a fifth grade team or a national championship team playing at the Division I level. And what he also says is the best teams and coaches that he's ever been around understand that approaching human-related issues is part of the equation that gets results. And so he says one of the coaches that really understands this is Brad Stevens. Now, Brett says Brad is a rare breed, and he calls it dual citizenship. He says Brad has dual citizenship, meaning he has been a successful basketball coach at the college level with the Butler Bulldogs, but also at the professional level with the Boston Celtics. And so this is important just because the two jobs have completely different dynamics in terms of managing the locker room. So at the college level, you're responsible for your talent. You're recruiting the people that you want to coach. At the professional level, though, you're dealt your talent, so you have to make use with what you have. So Brad breaks down his approach in philosophy in each environment. So we're going to start at the college level first. So at the college level, he used an approach he called the Butler pyramid. And so I want you to picture a pyramid in your head, and everyone knows what a pyramid looks like. So picture a pyramid in your head, and starting at the base of that pyramid, he said he recruited to their values, which was the foundation of the pyramid, and it was based on character. So that's the foundation. The second part of the pyramid is to prepare and to do it well as they can, day in and day out, not changing it based on how they feel or what happened yesterday, or if they're on a winning streak or losing streak. So second part is prepare. The third part is to perform and to do it as well as they can, which will drive the fourth part of the pyramid, which is results. So the point he was trying to make in this was if you focus too much of your time and attention on the results, you're in trouble. And so Brad liked using the pyramid shape because it was a graphic representation of how he invested his energy. So as you go up the pyramid, what happens? Each space gets smaller. So that reflected how Brad prioritized his energy. He spent most of his time on the foundational things. And so when I listen and read stuff like this, I always refer back to what I do in my day-to-day. And so if you don't know, I'm a business coach, and I coach businesses on using the tools of EOS, which stands for the Entrepreneurial Operating System. And I relate this to a lot of stuff that I do is because we focus on the foundational tools first. What we teach businesses is structure first, vision second, and then move into full execution mode. So think back to that sticky note example that we use, the exercise. Where did most of the issues fall, or all the issues in this case, was on the human side. So that's why the foundation of Butler's pyramid is based on character. Now, Brad did say that there's another addition that you could add to the pyramid, which he says is talent, because you ultimately have to have talent to win. So, back to the pyramid, when you're looking at the character value, talent is right there about the same level on that. And so back to me thinking about what I do as a business coach, we call that right seat. And so on the business side, once we establish you're the right person, so people who share your core values and fit your cultural ethic love, we make sure that you're in the right seat by asking the question, do they get it? Do they want it? And do they have the capacity to do it? This is what Brad calls talent.
Hi, this is Melanie McCallan. Josh and I are just so grateful for the many investors who have already joined us at Accountable Equity. Accountable Equity is so much more than a capital group. It's really a community of accredited investors that want to learn and grow together. I just want to personally invite you, if you want to find out more about this type of investment and see if it's right for you and your family, please visit us at accountableequity.com. You can fill out the contact form. We'll get right back to you and see if this is a great fit for you and your family. We'd love to meet you. We look forward to learning about you. Please visit us at accountableequity.com.
Hey, this is Matt Sorensen, author of the Self-Directed IRA Handbook, CEO at Directed IRA. You're listening to the best podcast, the Capital Hacking Podcast.
This was Brad's thought process behind the Butler Pyramid. And now the question is, did this work? And the answer is, yes, it did. It worked really, really well. And so some of the results he had is he went to back-to-back national championship games. He was the youngest coach in the history of the game to accomplish that. And then this success led him to an opportunity with the Boston Celtics. So here's what Brad's record looks like the first 4 years at the Boston Celtics. So I'll start with the 2013-2014 season. He had 25 wins, 57 losses. The next year, 2014, he had 40 wins. 2015, he had 48 wins. And in the 2016-2017 season, he had 53 wins and 29 losses. So what do you notice there? Progress, right? And so the Celtics noticed it too, which is why after his third year, they offered him a contract extension. And at the press conference following the announcement, he said, "It's an honor to be a member of the Boston Celtics. We'll continue striving for growth in the pursuit of Banner 18. And so what Brett does is he's like, let's break down those two sentences. Brett says it is an honor to be a member of the Boston Celtics. So what's the difference between being a member and a coach? Coach suggests authority, which doesn't go well going from a college to NBA where some of the players have more power than the coach. The word member suggests that you're part of something. So that speaks to Brad's humility. And you have to have that humility when you're going to coach people, some of which have more power than you. So now let's take the second sentence. So the second sentence, he says, we'll continue striving for growth in pursuit of Banner 18. So Brett asked him why he said striving for growth. And here's what Brad said. He said, because to me, this is what it's all about. If we're fortunate enough to someday achieve that 18th banner for the Celtics, then the next day we're going to be pursuing number 19. So ultimately, it's about getting better. And it's been fun when you live as a coach, because no matter what, whether you're having a good season or bad season, you're focused on the next day and trying to be a little better. So Brad gets it. He gets what it takes to be a great coach. Because when you focus on growth, that's where you're getting the emotional consistency from. You're not riding the emotional highs and lows that come from the outcomes. So the Celtics actually have a blank banner that hangs in the rafters that represents banner number 18. They have it both in the practice facility and in the arena that they play as a visual reminder of what they're striving for. And if you're listening to this episode when it drops, the Celtics are actually in the NBA Finals right now, playing my team, the Dallas Mavericks. So here's what's interesting on the Boston Celtics side. So when you look at the original roster that Brad had when he took over the team and compare it to where it is now, not one player remains, which speaks to the turnover in the NBA. So if the goal is banner 18, some guys may not buy into it because they may not be here 3 weeks from now. So what Brad did for the Celtics is he created a why behind the goal. So banner 18 may be the goal, but striving for growth is the purpose. That purpose is something that everyone can buy into on a daily basis, regardless of what happens tomorrow. Why? Because if you grow today, you're better prepared for tomorrow. And so I love it how Brett wraps this up. He wraps up this chapter by saying the best teams I've ever been around are striving for growth, and it's reflected in their daily process. So my key takeaway from this chapter is strive for growth and get better every single day. That's all I have for you this week. If you like what you heard, come back next week for more mental capital around the mindset and the psychology behind things. If you loved what you heard today, give us a 5-star rating and review. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, ask yourself, What can you do to create a better mindset and add value to the world around you? And go Mavs.
Damn straight. We just got we got to the end of another great show. And everyone listening right now, you're the family and friends. Thanks for staying till the end.
That was so fun. And hey, hit the like, hit subscribe. We're here to serve you guys. That's why we're doing this show. Josh is not paying me. I'm doing this off of my quote unquote sweat equity because we want to make a difference in your life. And then that ripple effect will continue to touch the world.
Hey, amen, brother. Please check us out on capitalhacking.com, all the social media threads. And yes, I know you've probably already sent this episode to one of your best friends. Thank you. We love you. Just go right into your iPhone, hit the plus symbol. We'll talk to you later. See you next week.
Share.